Get in there! Oh. No more accents. Do it properly.
Ow!
Oi, you want me to hit you? I'll hit you.
How are you even yelling at me? We own the same body, man. Okay, I got in trouble for using that stupid accent in the last video, so that's gone. Greetings, esteemed viewer, I'm Tabletop Nick, and welcome to this episode where I'm going to be talking about an old favourite of mine, Viewpoint. I don't actually have the box anymore because I've had this game for a very, very long time. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is one of the first games that I ever owned. Anyway, I decided to do it because it doesn't receive enough love. Like, my local game store has had it in for about 5 years now when they haven't sold more than a single copy, and that was to me. So I'm going to do a review and a playthrough for you in the hopes that it'll change your mind, because it is a pretty solid game. Though I can definitely see its flaws, which I'll talk about in the review section. Viewpoint, let's go! Alright, so setup is beyond simple. Simply shuffle the deck and put it in the middle. I've split it into two because I'm using 2 decks. Then, deal everyone 5 cards. And, you know, that's it. The game is now set up. Yay! So turns are really, really simple. There aren't any complicated phases, there's just draw a card, and then play a card. This player will use Blink, which lets them draw 2 cards. Hooray! And then he turns over. So that's really simple gameplay. If I zoom in on this Blink card here, I can tell you everything about it. Okay, so you've got your title, you have your points, and you have your effect. So the aim of the game is really simple, it's just get 100 of these points in front of you, and then you win. Could not be simpler, so let's move on to the next turn. Draw a card. Alright, so this hand gets to start a bit better. It has the Peekaboo card, which is an instant card. It gets to be played straight away for 5 immediate points. It's just useful, is all. Then we can use Foresight, which is if you have 40 or fewer points after playing this card, you take another turn, otherwise you draw 1 card. We have 40 or less, so we could take another turn, including the draw. So we draw that, and then we'll play Glance Left. So every player passes 1 card from their hand to the player on their left. 1, player on the left, player on their left, player on their left. And that's this person's turn. So, again, draw 1 card. This person also has Peekaboo, so put that down, and play a Telescopic View. So draw cards equal to the number of telescopic view cards in all players' fields. It's only 1 right now, so we only draw 1. Turn. Next person. Draw 1. And now we'll see one of the more brutal sides of this game. This game has a lot of cards like this. I Spy. So you can steal any 2 cards from another player's hand and add those cards to your hand. I'm going to pick on the first person who played after this guy, which was the 3-card person, and take... oh, there's some nice stuff here. Those 2. I Spy only gives 0 points, so it's not overpowered, but still very good. And you see that a lot in this game. A lot of card stealing and stuff like that. It's very Munchkin-y in that way. So this player draws another Peekaboo, it's a free card, and they'll play Bird's Eye View, which is 0 points, but lets them move any card in someone else's field to their hand, and they'll take the I Spy card. And they're at 40 points now. This person's turn. Draw 1. Play the horrible Evil Eye. I'll move those aside for you so you can actually see it. But Evil Eye, move 2 cards with the same name from any player's field of vision to the discard pile. So, this player over here has 2 Peekaboos. We're going to throw those out. And that's back to this player's turn. We draw. This player has a gigantic hand. We need to start doing something with it. So we'll play this Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope has a multitude of effects. So let's zoom in on that. Kaleidoscope. You draw 2 cards, or make any player discard 2 cards, or move 1 card in any player's field of view to the bin. Let's pick on that player again. They've only got 2 cards over there, so let's make them discard it. They have nothing to stop it. This player is going to get mighty pissed, mighty quickly. So they draw 1 card, it's Peekaboo. They show it, there it is. That's their turn. Over here, we draw 1 card. Now this side over here actually has a really decent hand. It's just all cards that they want to save for later. So the only one they've really got to use is this one, the All-Seeing Eye, which they can use to grab any card from the bin and add it to their hand. If they grab this peekaboo, they can play it straight away for the points. And that'll be their turn. Back to this turn. Draw. Play another kaleidoscope, this time to draw 2 cards. And pass the turn on. Draw. They've got insight, so they can steal any card from another player's hand. They'll go back to the guy who's been picking on them all this time because he has a massive hand right now, and hindsight is going to be the card that they take for later. So you can see how quickly this game is progressing. It's not like it's a complicated game. It's a very simple draw 1, play 1 kind of game. Over here they've picked up Shadow, so you may play an additional card each turn, including this turn. It's a minus 15 card, so we'll count that out with these two. Minus 15, but it lets them play 2 cards every turn. So this turn we'll start with playing Hindsight, which lets us put 1 card back into our hand. We'll take the peekaboo back and drop it straight down. So they're currently on 40 points over here. Back to this guy. After Shadow hits the table, the game very much becomes a game of trying to steal Shadow all the time, every time. For example, this side is going to play Eye-Catching, which is minus 5 to move any 1 card in another player's field to your field, and steal Shadow. They're now at minus 20, which will be cancelled out by the kaleidoscopes, putting them on 10 points. But they can play 1 more card. I'll use X-Ray Vision to look at the top 3 cards of the deck, and put 1 of them in your hand. The rest go face down the deck in any order. Oh, gracious. So, this is fantastic, and those can go like that. And then they pass the turn. So that person draws a card, and it's Mirror... Oh, no, they've got a card over here as well. This card's still better. Mirror Image. Perform the actions on any other player's card. So if they play the eye-catching effect, they can steal Shadow, and then they can play another card. If they play Hindsight, they can take back Mirror Image to use in their next turn. So with that out of the way, back to this turn. Draw 1. So for the ease of counting points, I usually put all of the cards in a pile once they add up to 50, and then lay them out so you can see the actual cards that they are, like that, and then start a new pile. So this turn, the person is going to use Mirage. It's a case of, if I can't have Shadow, nobody can. Move 1 card in any player's field to the bin. So throw out Shadow. Since that side has nothing to stop it, we just pass the turn on. And then we can speed up the game a little bit, because I think you've got the gist. Okay, so back into the game. We've started on this player's turn again. They're going to play Glance Right. So every player passes 1 card to the player on their right. There you go. There you go. They don't have 1 to pass over. So pass over to that turn. They draw. Keep that. Play Blind Spot. Make only 1 player discard 1 card of their choosing. So they are currently at 85 points, which is pretty fantastic. Their target for Blind Spot is going to be the player over here. But the player over here just took Spectacles from the other guy. Spectacles can cancel any card that would make you discard a card. That's fine. Their turn starts. They draw. And they are at 50, 60 points. So they'll use an eye for an eye. They're at 70 points. They can move 1 card in their field to the bin and replace it with the top card of the deck. So they get rid of that minus 10, get a plus 20. That would actually put them at 100, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it would. But they have to play the effect by making 1 other player discard 1 card of their choosing. If they pick this side, the game is over. If they pick this side, there's a Spectacles to cancel it. So, who knows? So you can see how the game can get quite quick, quite fast, and quite busy. The only thing I can say is that this side didn't have the foresight to see anything coming. So that was Viewpoint, a game that I actually really, really enjoy, especially because it's not complicated at all. The problem with the game is definitely the artwork. You probably saw it while we were playing. It's terrible artwork, to be honest. It's just so substandard. which is a shame because the game itself is amazing fun. It feels a lot like Munchkin when you're playing with more than one person, especially if that person is the kind of person who plays Munchkin very nastily. It's a pretty vicious game when you get down to it. Unfortunately, I can see why it doesn't do very well. That art is not good. It really should have been better. They should have tried a bit harder, and they could have done so much better, because it's a fantastic game. Of course, I'm helped along by the fact that it was one of the first games I ever owned, so it does hold that sort of nostalgic property for me, but I still think it's a pretty decent thing. I'm going to have to take points off for the artwork, but I'm still going to rate it fairly decently because I like the game. I'd give it a 7 out of 10, easily. But I'm going to take a point or two off for the artwork. Let's roll that down to a 6. 6 out of 10. Could have been 7. Actually, it probably could have been 8. So yeah, pretty fun game, and you probably would be able to get a copy of it really cheap at your local game store, so go have a look if you've got nothing better to do. It's not a terrible game in the slightest. So I've been Tabletop Nick. As usual, leave a comment below if you know a game that I should try out and play for you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that YouTube stuff, and use some of these annotations. They might lead you somewhere exciting. I'll catch you next time, guys. Bye!